Hello and welcome to the Little Minds Big Ideas podcast with the Early Years Network.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Another Wednesday episode.
Soggy day.
Another soggy day, yes. It is miserable as we're recording this.
You can probably hear it.
Yeah, probably.
Depends how good the mics are. You might hear faint pitter-patter of raindrops on the windows. Roof. The right word for windows.
Probably is on the windows as well with the rain that we just had.
Glorious. Anyway,
Lovely.
What are we talking about today?
Right, my In the News this week, it was literally published today as we're recording. So
I actually don't even know what In the News is today.
You don't. Do you want to do your jingle?
In the News.
Nice.
I
I like that.
Mix it up a little bit.
So this has been released.
How many people thought I was going to go full rap then?
Full, you've written a song. Was released from Ofsted on the 8th of October. So today, as we're filming, so we are literally filming this the day before
This
this week.
literally just happened.
So we are. It's been a bit.
What is it? This isn't just in the news. This is breaking news.
Breaking news. The press release caption, headline is "Early Years Education Too Important to Be Left to Chance." Ofsted has today published the final part in its series of Best Start to Life research reviews relating to early years education. And this report is part 3, and it's the 4 specific areas of learning. So I need to actually read the whole thing first, so we can talk about it again next week. But there is a quote from Sir Martin Oliver, His Majesty's Chief Inspector, that says, "Early years practitioners deserve our gratitude for their hard work in making sure that every child gets off to the best start in life. I hope this research series helps them to consider what an excellent early years curriculum for all children might look like." And a high quality early education benefits all children, particularly the most vulnerable, and is far too important to be left to chance. Learning in the early years is fundamental to providing children with the tools they need to thrive throughout their education and beyond. That is all the more important for children from disadvantaged backgrounds. If we get early education right for our most vulnerable children, we'll get it right for all children. So I thought that might be an interesting read.
Might be an interesting podcast next week.
It might be an interesting podcast next week. I have just had the busiest couple of, today has just been crazy. So I haven't actually had a chance to read it yet.
No, but I will do crazy day. It'll be one of those days where plans change
so fast.
Very aggressively, very fast.
All of a sudden it was 4:00 and I was like, shit, we have to film a podcast.
Let's get in the studio, and then also did the heavens open.
And then the heavens opened and I was like, I'm not walking across to the studio.
So then we had to build a boat, took a paddle across.
I just feel like, where has today gone? Like it was 8:00, I was getting to work, and then I blinked and it was 4:00 and we had to do the podcast.
Well, it's good, isn't it? It's better
But I've no idea what I've done today. So that's really good. Good fun.
Good vibes.
How's your day been?
This is what this podcast is coming now.
Might be, yeah. We don't get to chat to each other now, so my mic is in a really funny position. I can't see you.
Because you moved it.
I know.
Just don't cover your face entirely though, because then the camera can't pick you up.
Sorry, everyone.
No, I had a good day.
Good.
Been working through some fun legal stuff.
Fun legal stuff.
Those words don't really go hand in hand, do they?
No. Sorry, we've just turned this into a little...
So what are we talking about?
How has everyone else's day been?
Yeah, let us know tomorrow.
Let us know how your day is. Let us know how your Tuesday was and how your Wednesday is going. Love to know.
So today, Emily, what we're going to talk about? Emily.
We are going to talk about social media.
The power of social media.
The power of social media. The impact of social media on everybody.
I think we're going to cover this from a wide-angled lens, looking at society as a whole, but then also we will zoom into early years, as seems right on an early years podcast.
It does.
I think I wanted to keep the conversation. I wanted to have like a broad conversation, sort of see where it takes us.
I'm going away from my notes then.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just using these notes as so I don't forget something.
Okay, go on then.
I wanted to talk about social media.
Yep.
No, not social media. No, I said social media. We'll come to social media.
Oh.
The internet.
Yep.
Rate out of 10.
10 out of 10 in the right hands.
10 out of 10 in the right hand. That sounds quite malicious, actually. Why?
Because there's a very bad side to the internet.
Yeah, no, but you've given it 10 out of 10, so let's start with the good side.
Okay.
Sure, to go.
So, I think
That'd be weird. That dive in the Olympics. Top marks, but feed placement wasn't quite right. Well, hang on a second.
No, but I think if you use the internet for the right things and the right purpose, it's great. We were doing something the other day And actually, prime example, today I was in the car with a colleague and I described our dog as that brown monster thing from Looney Tunes. Tasmanian Devil. But neither of us, for the life of us, could remember what he was called. So she Googled it.
Yeah.
So it's a good tool if you need to know information fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because as soon as we knew it was Tasmanian Devil, I was like, yes, that is the perfect way to describe my dog. Don't you think?
But yeah, she is a Taz. Yeah. I think Taz pooed and weed quite as much as Darth does. I know, but yeah, she is a
Tasmanian Devil, yeah.
Yeah, I get
good,
it.
Isn't it? So that, in terms of that, I think it's good for finding out information quickly. I think it's good.
Hilarious that point number one in my blurb was actually access to information. So you've covered off my first point.
There you
really
go.
Nice, thank
you. I think being able to access information at our fingertips is incredible.
And I think most people would agree. Like Wikipedia and Google and all that stuff. It's obviously revolutionised is like fairly obvious, but the ability for these human beings to have a wealth of knowledge at their fingertips. When you actually think about the history of humans, the power we have there is really underestimated.
Yeah.
Because like 100 years ago, if you didn't know something, you just didn't know it.
Imagine before clocks. Didn't even know the time.
Well, there were different forms of clocks.
We just
before.
followed the sun. Morning. Bedtime.
But going back to the internet, 100 years ago, if you didn't know something, you just didn't know it. Unless you could access this. What's wrong with me today? I can't talk.
Are you okay?
Unless you could have accessed the information via written format, or you just happen to know someone and take their word for it, I suppose.
That's probably how facts came about.
What?
You just take someone's word for it.
I know, but how much misinformation would have come about?
How much misinformation have we currently got?
I know, but imagine if you just believed, like, that's how, like, town priors and people are just saying stuff came about. Do you know, have you ever heard the story of when War of the Worlds first came to birth?
No.
Tuition, came alive, whatever. You know, War of the Worlds, the film with Tom Cruise, but had earlier films and was originally a
play as well.
Yeah.
My dad and my sister went to see it, said it was very good.
When that was originally aired on the radio in, I believe, America, George Orwell? Why have I completely forgotten? Let me just...
Ironically, why don't you just Google it?
Let me just use the... Some people will be screaming now.
Talk amongst yourselves, or Ben just finds out this information.
Worlds.
What's everyone having for dinner tomorrow?
H.G. Wells.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know what I got. Yeah, okay.
We're all over the place today.
But when that first aired, people genuinely thought it was real. It was actually on the radio, and the panic that happened as a result of this story. And that's what I'm trying to say. I think the power that we have now to be able to disprove and prove, and as we're going through now with Trump and his fake news, it's sort of
AI is
and AI as well. That was another thing we're going to come to at some point. But just the power of it as a vehicle for information and also misinformation, I suppose. At the same time,
I did notice in your notes you'd written access to video resources, educational resources, e-learning platforms. For example, www.theearlyearsnetwork.co.uk.
Yeah, that's another plug. it's another perfect example of what the internet in the most positive of light can be. Opportunity to learn. It's. I said earlier, unless you've got the ability to access a book 100 years ago, knowledge would have been unattainable for you.
Yeah, and lots of people didn't know how to read and write. So,
and one of the biggest barriers to attaining that book would have been standing in society, wealth, and the power that brings. Whereas nowadays, information is a lot more accessible.
Yes,
on that scale, and it brings society as a lot even and a lot of fairer place. I don't hoard all the power as the wealthiest person in the world with all the information anymore, like you would have done 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. And the further we go back, the greater. And then you control the rhetoric completely, you know, through the idea of the king being the divine son of the god and everyone having to bow down to him and controlling mass people like that. Yeah. Whereas now information is more freely, you can expose ideas and concepts more and you can get rid of myths as such and things like that. That's incredible.
Yeah.
what it was brought society.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's something that I think we probably take for granted.
100%.
Just information at our fingertips.
And you don't...
Because everyone knows how frustrating it is when you want to Google something and you've got no signal. It is like the most frustrating thing in the world. Like, why won't this load? Yeah. So we do just take it for granted.
And then alongside that is as a communication tool.
Yeah.
And alongside travel, the internet is probably the one thing that's sped up globalization. To make the world smaller.
Yeah.
Probably more than anything else.
We know what's going on everywhere.
It's not just a case of knowing what's going on, not just from a news point of view.
No, it's in like you can visit new places because you've seen a picture of it online.
Yeah.
You've seen that someone else has posted on Facebook that they've been to this location, looks lovely. So, why might I go there?
Yeah.
So everything becomes a little bit more connected and accessible again because you can see it.
And also we become one more.
We've become one more.
Yeah, like often when you find people who've learned English from another language have a lot of Americanisms or American accents because they've learned online and via TV programs that you get through the power of the internet. Things like Friends, and you often hear a lot of people, they talk and that's what the TV shows they've been exposed to. A lot of people learn language that way. And little things like that. The fact that in England now, if we wanted, we could go home, turn Sky on, and effectively, I mean, I know Sky's not necessarily on the internet, but you could watch Indian TV. You could watch anything from anywhere in the world if so be true. Me and you always on Sunday spend a lot of time watching the NFL.
Yeah.
Well, that's something that just wouldn't have been accessible.
Let's go Niners.
Even 50, 40 years ago.
That's how I spend my Sundays.
Yeah, we could watch every single game.
Yeah.
You couldn't have done that once upon a time. So it's almost making...
It's even the fact that we can subscribe to an American channels through that app that we have. The, what's it called?
Perfectly Legal, DAZN it's called.
DAZN, yeah. I thought I was making sure. DAZN. We pay the subscription to get the NFL pass.
Yeah.
So we can have access to the NFL network, which isn't a UK-based TV program, but we get that because of the internet, because we can stream it via our Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Oh, pause. And go. And yeah, so I think from a globalization standpoint, from an accessing of information standpoint, you can see why it's such a powerful tool. It's going to be fascinating to see like what happens with it as we go on, as it gets faster and faster, and like how much more it'll become integrated into a human being.
Yeah,
because you then start talking.
As well as socialization, it's a great way to teach everybody or children about different cultures, because you can share videos. So say you've got children that have gone on holiday to Greece. Mm-hmm. You can do a walking tour on YouTube of places that people have been. So you can actually talk about it and see it and introduce that location to more than just the child that's visited it in real life.
Yeah.
So in terms of socialization, it's not the same in that sense, but you are showing children different parts of the world. You can even do like walking tours of airports and what it's like to go through an airport and go on holiday, because some children don't get to experience that. So you'll either just make them really jealous or you'll introduce them to something. Show me in January a video of an airport, I'm going to get really cross.
Just present them though how shit airports are.
You don't want to go here, promise. So busy all the time. Security queues.
Got to take your shoes off, your belts off. You've got to then stand in a queue for 2 hours.
You've got to put your arms out and scan you.
So yeah, enhancing learning, bringing sort of, and it's playing a massive role in creating, and this is where I would say is a slight downside to it, because it's breaking down individualism. It's a hard one to describe because everything about globalization is brilliant, except you do lose uniquenesses. Yeah. It's like languages and small traditions within small sections of people. Being able to farm and cultivate land to provide food and crops for communities is probably the way forward, but it's also a bygone idea. And instead we import food from all over the world, which it's great, but then it's also got major downsides. And I think that when we talk about the internet and we go through this conversation, it always feels like the plus points are also at the same time the negative points.
The negatives at the same time, yeah.
Like life would be so much better without the internet, but also life is so much better because of the internet. It's a very weird.
It's like with, you say like socialization and stuff, bringing people closer together. You can communicate with people on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's currently in Mexico, and I can WhatsApp message her.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. And I remember when we were in New York, this isn't really the internet. No, probably would have rang through WhatsApp, to be fair. So it's using that Wi-Fi.
No, it would have been impossible without the internet.
Without the internet to do it. We used the internet to contact my dad when we were in New York to tell him that we were engaged, whilst they were also on the phone to my sister on another phone who was in Sheffield, and we could all talk to each other.
It is.
Crazy.
It is. And that's the greatest thing about it in terms of that socialization aspect of it and communication. It's given us such a valuable tool of communication, because even if you go back 40 years, like, it's incredible the advancements, not just of the internet, but technology as a whole.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Because you always watch those, like, if you watch any like zombie films, apocalypse films, anything like that.
I don't, but yeah.
But you lose, like, if it was only me and you left in the world, for example, the internet went down and everything, you lose so much, like, from
Do you imagine?
the knowledge of history. But
Yeah.
like, the ability to build boats and planes and all of that power that we have. I mean, okay, unless we can somehow find the textbooks that will provide us the knowledge. But do you know what I mean? We would lose that because we haven't got a bloody clue.
We would not be able to build a car.
Imagine if everybody died and then aliens came down, like, right, we need you to build us a plane. Blah, blah, blah.
They were like, would you like to talk to my Doberman about that?
Unlucky friend.
She might be able to help you.
So when we're talking about communication, we're talking about the internet. Let's stop beating around the bush and let's talk about the main factor. And maybe,
Dun, dun, dun.
and maybe the most problematic element of the internet, would you say?
Not for me.
I think it is.
No.
Okay, rate social media out of 10, Emla.
I have been thinking about this because we had a brief pause in the recording. I reckon I'm going to go for 7.5.
7.5.
7.5.
Okay.
For the social media.
You didn't say 7.5 last time. It was 7 or 8, and now it is.
7 or 8, so I went 7.5.
Explain your reasonings and show
Okay.
you working out.
Okay, so I love social media. I can spend hours on social media. I know it's a problem. I know Ben hates it.
I can vouch for that.
But I do. I genuinely enjoy social media. I love people who put themselves out there on the internet. I find learning about different people's lives and tuning into their lives really interesting. I've always found people fascinating. Like, I don't know what it is. I've always just found people fascinating. So for me, watching someone's like,
Watching Sarah cook her dinner at like
Yeah.
9 o'clock at night for a family of 3.
yeah, I find it so fascinating. I love it.
And today we're having sausages. Woo!
But people do it. People tune in because
Oh,
people
expensive.
like to know, like, what you look at on the internet and what I look at on the internet is polar opposite. Like, Ben will send me a funny video and I think, Ben, what the hell is this? Like, this is not funny. Whereas I'll send Ben something and he's like, I don't care. So we all enjoy different things on social media.
Yeah, mine social media usage normally aligns with the things I'm just genuinely interested in. Whether it be sport or whether it be like Star Wars or space or like something along those lines.
Stupid videos.
That's just when I'm really bored and you're just on social media. So I was like, okay, I'll just
Send you this.
go onto Instagram and just bombard you.
Yeah. So I really enjoy social media for that aspect. I think the fact that people are making a living off of social media now it's probably not as wild as people make it out to be, because
It's been on for a long time now that you think about it. Think about the early days of YouTube.
YouTube squad, like Zoella, who I talked about in an Instagram post.
This is Zoella.
In
Is that her name?
her name's Zoe, but her
She called herself
YouTube was Zoella. Yeah.
Sounds like Godzilla.
She has been on YouTube now for over 10 years.
Right, okay.
And has made a very successful career out of it. But people it's not a career. She just sits at
I just
home.
find it amazing.
I watch you edit videos. I could not be a YouTuber. Because if you think about it, in the early days, they all did it themselves. They learned how to edit videos. They bought cameras. They vlogged. They vlogged their entire day. They learned how to edit. They learned how to put things up and upload to YouTube. Like, you've had to learn how to edit very quickly for our project. And it is a skill.
Yeah.
you're doing different kind of videos, but if I vlogged every day and cut things up and said, oh, I don't want that bit in it, don't want that bit in it, I'd like a transition here, I'd like music over this, blah, blah, blah. And the way you do it, it's a whole different type of editing process. So I think there is, don't get me wrong, anybody could post themselves on social media, anybody, but not everybody makes a career out of it.
I know, but some absolute weirdos manage to make a career out of it as well.
100%.
Especially on TikTok.
But that's because people watch it, because people find it funny and people are mean.
People just laugh at it.
People are also, people are really mean. That's a downside of social media. There's no filter. People can say what they want to say.
It's not even just there's not a filter. There's no consequence.
No.
You could be anonymous and it's always anonymous. It's always Lisa 4678933332
772 with no picture and no followers has told you that you look like shit today.
And we get that on...
Thanks, user 4472 with no followers and no picture.
And even we get that on TikTok. Never have we got anything like it on Instagram, but on TikTok... It's a different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
You definitely get... I don't know why. I don't know. But there is definitely a different audience.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I think social media, for as great it is and all the positives you just put on there...
There's also negatives, I was going to say. That's where it loses some points.
And I think especially because neither me or you grew up quite with the internet. No,
like I had to sit at the main computer in the house and go on MSN. It wasn't at my fingertips. Like it wasn't on my phone.
We were at the start of the wave.
Yeah.
Because I was born in 94. And do you mind me putting your age out on the internet?
No, I don't mind.
So you were born in 97.
Yeah. So Ben is 30. Just saying.
Emily's soon to be 30.
And I am not 30.
And so we were just on the wake. I still remember when you had to go on the internet and you got to go into the, and it made that horrible noise, that connection. Like,
Dial-up.
Dial-up, that's the one. So I still remember all that jazz. So we were at that sort of cusp before it became, and then as we got older and went through into
remember my first laptop when I could have like MSN on my laptop and you're like, Jesus Christ, talk to my friends. Just have to turn my laptop on.
MSN was such a massive waste of time.
Nudge. And the whole screen would shake.
I once got suspended by MSN, my account.
Probably because you were one of those people being horrible.
No, we weren't being horrible. We just nudged someone an excessive amount. And it just thought we were trying to, I don't know what it thought back in the days.
That's one thing where even social media from the start point where it became a negative in terms of like people's mental health. Because on MSN, you could write like a bio or a name, and loads of people, I don't know if it's the same for your school, you'd put all your friends' names in it.
No, I wasn't a loser.
Okay, so people would put their friends' names in it. And like, if you weren't on someone's list and you thought you were going to be like, it all of a sudden becomes very like, oh, that's like not a nice feeling to see online.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it very quickly became a negative.
And it then got to the extent where it entered your home. Like bullying and things like that could suddenly follow you home. Whereas previously, the only way it could follow you home is if quite literally like little Timmy stood out your windows, I'm going to beat you up.
Yeah.
And then you just get your dad on him.
Your parents would just go outside and be like, what? Little Timmy?
Whereas, yes, social media suddenly then opened the door up.
Yeah. And that is still going on today. I mean, I still, when we get comments on TikTok or Instagram, my heart like flips. Because I don't know what that person's going to say. And that really, it's scary. Like it's a lot. And to put yourself on the internet takes a lot. But I don't think just because someone's put their life on the internet, you have a right to comment on it.
Do you know what the worst?
Weird.
Do you know what the worst thing about that is though? People have lost the ability because of social media to actually have proper discourse. Like you'd sit down with someone in real life and you'd have I would assume, somewhat civil conversation, and you can have two varying opinions.
Oh yeah, and you could
chat about it. And you know, even when it comes to like when we did the bits around the election and things like that, you can chat to someone who's got completely different views to you. But the odds are, in reality, in the real world, you'll have somewhat of a central impasse and you'll be able to talk things through.
And if you don't want to be the same page, you can say, that's absolutely fine, let's just agree to disagree.
And you might turn around and go, oh, bloody Stephen, he's a twat, and he's a big Tory, but he's all right.
On one of the local Facebook pages, someone was arguing over a child's toy. Do you remember? I read you the comments. Oh my God. People just love to argue over the internet.
I have to say, though, Facebook community pages,
My favourite things to read.
one of the greatest parts of the internet.
Fabulous. Whoever's idea that was, love it, because I'm on about 6.
And it doesn't
our
matter.
local areas. Some of them are more exciting than others.
And it doesn't matter where you're from. They're all the same. They're all arguing about the same things.
Oh, the road's closed again.
Whose dog shit out of my
Yeah,
house?
literally. It's brown bin day. Why have you got your black bin out? Number 27. Ooh. Who's parked on the pavement because I can't get down it?
But
You'd put that one up.
That'd
be you.
It really aggravates me. Why do people park on pavements? If you park on a pavement, stop it. Just stop. There's never a reason for it.
We actually experienced your first-hand reason the other day.
What do you mean?
When we were walking with...
You're walking with your friend down. She has a baby in her pram and we couldn't get down. And there was no reason for it because if you drove past that car, it doesn't help 2 cars still filter across. You still have to stop and let oncoming traffic come through because they've got the right of way.
Sorry, everyone.
There's no benefit to it. All you've done is made a woman with a 3-month-old baby have to go into the road to get around the car.
What you just said? It's so funny. People do this. How old's your baby? Oh, she's 3 months years old. Which can't be 3 months years old.
Yeah, I meant
3 months old.
I meant 0.3 years old.
Okay. Well, actually, if 12's 100%, 3's not 0.3, is it? 3's 0.4.
What a stupid conversation this has ended up in.
Started in on me.
So, right, where are we? Internet.
So mental health, basically. It comes into your home and it comes into your home and can be quite a negative impact. But then also, it's quite nice to share things that make you feel good on the internet.
It's wicked, but it's also a major weakness. That's the problem, isn't it? It's not black and white. I think for different people, it creates different problems.
Yeah.
Because as much as you say you really like social media, you like to be people, but at the same time, then you miss out on actually real people. Because we sit at the dinner table sometimes.
Yeah, and I'm on my
And it's
phone.
like somebody else is there, but I can't see them.
Yeah.
And that takes up your time and your energy.
Ben is also sometimes on his phone at the dinner table. Just I'm not a terrible person. It's not all the time. And do you know when it normally is? And I'm going to say, this is going to sound awful, but I think people who work in busy nursery environments will understand this. When you spend all day answering a 2-year-old's why questions and you've had parents moaning, kids have been unregulated, it's been a long day, I don't want to have any more conversations. And that sounds awful. But I do think that sometimes is what it is. Sometimes I just need to just switch off.
But I don't think it's a positive switch off.
Potentially not.
Because I think there's other things going on there. And I also think, and this isn't just you, this is just generically, it is just myself. No, this is because I think this is just typical of the internet. I think sometimes you can spend hours doing it and there's no real benefit to it. It's just a mind numbness, like a mind.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. It's almost like those hours haven't happened. You've gone into a coma, and you've gained nothing from it. And you even sit there have I even enjoyed what the hell is doom scrolling? Not really. I've not gained anything from it. I didn't really enjoy it. It's sort of just my brain's gone into nothing mode. Which
is ironic because we film these things and clip them up for social media for people to do that. So everyone uses them.
Because normally, if you pick up your phone and go on social media, the first 5 minutes, whatever it might be, it probably adds value. By the time you're 50 minutes deep.
Then you get one funny video, so worth it.
But there's probably isn't at that point. You always say you wish you found more time for reading. It probably does exist. It just doesn't find the time for it. And I'm not just picking on you here. That's probably synonymous.
I'm the only person in this room. You are 100% just picking on me, but I understand.
Yeah, but I'm the same. Sometimes I can end up sitting on my phone and I've read up basketball stats for players that I neither care about nor will I ever need that information. And it's what a waste of time. Yeah. So it happens to all of us. But that's what we contend with now with social media.
So moving on to children, because I don't want to talk about me anymore. For children and social media, lots of differing views about whether people put their children online.
Yeah.
And lots of people's opinions on whether people should put their children online. Because that comes into potentially a safeguarding point of view. But then, I don't know, I've not got a child of my own.
I've never thought about this. If you were lucky enough to have a child, would you allow them to be on social media?
That's what I mean. I don't know. I've never thought about it.
But if I'm now asking you.
I think I'd
it was born yesterday and now you need to sign the forms. Yes or no?
I think I'd want to put them on social media.
Is that your social media or like nursery social
My
media?
social media.
Okay, what about if they're into
I'd be
settings?
really, I'd be a real big hypocrite if I didn't let my child go on
I
social
know,
media.
but would you be a hypocrite?
I think it's different for us
Go on.
because, no, it's not different for us because people know where I work if they're in my life. So they know what setting they go to anyway.
Yeah, I think I would really struggle with it. I mean, I didn't let you put my dog up on social media,
No.
which is crazy when you think about it, but...
Which would, yeah.
But
I put my dog on
I was
social
about to say more dogs are stolen
Yeah, than children.
than children, which is probably true, isn't it?
Probably.
Especially when we first got
But
together.
also, you don't leave a child at home.
No, I'd hope not.
Well, whereas you do that with dogs. But yeah, on my own personal social media, I think because I don't see all of my family, I think it's a nice way to share, like I say, share with photos.
And you know it's locked down,
Yeah.
which doesn't make it...
Right or wrong.
No, it doesn't make it infallible. I've been no, struggling with that word. It doesn't stop people being able to access
Yeah.
it still. There are horrific ways around, I
course there
suppose.
is.
Infallible? I think that's what I was trying to say.
But then there's lots of people who don't put their children on social media, and I do get why. I don't think I'd ever post on social media my children in a school uniform with a logo.
But people can easily figure it out, I suppose. It's funny, isn't it? We do those things. Do you know what? Completely off topic here, but it just came to my head and I've always wondered it. Why do people blur out registration plates on cars? Like, but why do people do that? You know, when people put photographs of like them and then they blur out like the reg plate of their car, why? Because all we can access when you have that information is like, are they taxed? And is the vehicle insured? You can't get someone's reg plate and like find out where they live.
I don't
Unless I'm missing something.
I don't know.
Just always wondered it. Thought you might be able to shed some light on it.
I can't.
Maybe they just don't tax their vehicle.
Maybe. Yeah, so I think I do understand why people don't put their children on social media. Some people do put their children on social media. This is like famous people until they're like of a certain age where they like can say, I don't want my photo taken. So like 5 or 6 to be like, no, I don't want my photo taken. Like, fine. Or people just don't do it until their children are of an age where they can make a decision and understand what the internet is.
Consequences of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it?
So I don't know.
And that's the other side of the conversation, that the internet is a dangerous place. We talked about
100%.
globalization, we talked about communication. It gives
The dark side
an
to the
access
internet, yeah.
to predators. And I think it happens more than you actually like to think it happens.
Yeah.
I think
It's a lot of people as well that with the world of influence that expose their children, not in like
no, I don't mean.
a sexuality way, but in terms of like make their children do funny stuff just for views.
Yeah.
What would you normally naturally do?
Oh, it's that horrible trend that went around where people kept like splatting their children in the face.
Oh, I didn't see it. I was going to say something else.
Oh, they kept like...
You know the one where the people say, give me the money. And then everyone would go, yay. And then the last person wasn't in on the joke. Yeah.
I'm not in on the joke.
Oh, okay. The last person wasn't in on the joke and they'd say, give me the money. And they'd clap.
Yeah.
And no one else around. Everyone would just be like this
Right.
around them. And parents started doing it with their children. And it would embarrass the child. And I just thought, well, that's not nice.
It doesn't sound nice anyway.
No. So I didn't enjoy that. Like, that wasn't fun.
Trends are, this is the part of the internet where my face is like,
It's
what?
weird. Yeah. Someone listening will know what I mean.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure I'm the odd one out, but I still just sit there like saying, sorry, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, so thing is, the internet, if I became a parent, the internet would be the one thing that scares the shit out of me. Like 100%. But how much control do you have over your children?
I was going to say, too.
Do you become that parent where you like read everything on their phone and fully dictatorial? Because at the same time, that also feels like you're breaking
their
that barrier, that privacy barrier.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, what's more important? We're still talking very young children here. So we're talking, I don't know, should a 10-year-old have a phone?
I don't know.
Because this is always something that's going to be so, and it depends on where the child travels to. Like, there's so many factors in play there, but it is the one thing that always worries me, especially in like the world that it is today.
But then if your child was like old enough and they were walking to school by themselves, would you want them to have a phone so that you can contact them?
But then also, it's funny because, isn't it? It's now connected. Having a mobile phone in itself to ring people is fine. But then that mobile phone then also gives them the power to go onto weird parts of the internet and be able to be accessed by strange people on the internet.
Yeah.
And you can drill it into your child, like from day dot, strangers, this is what happens, this is the consequences. Because curiosity will always kill the cat in some way.
Do you also then instill anxiety into your child?
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen if a stranger walks past you in the street. And then you create a whole nother issue of social anxiety and not wanting to leave the house and things like that. So there's a very fine line there.
You really drilled it into them if that's the way you get
That's what I mean, though. But if you are saying, like, okay, if someone talks to you, like, they could kidnap you and you'll never see us again. Like, if you go that far, someone literally says, oh, which way to the post office? And they're like, oh, I've got to run home. Like, it could get to that point where kids, if they're so drilled into they don't want to leave the house, or goes the other way, they're like, yeah, that won't happen. Talk to everybody, and it just becomes a bit of an iffy place.
Do you know what? I actually remember one of the things my mum always banned and made really clear was you don't go on chat rooms.
Yes.
That was sort of the thing back when I was growing up and the internet was a thing. She always said to me, you do not go on chat rooms.
Amig?
That was the webcam one, was
Yeah, that was weird.
I never, it's just weird. Penises.
Yeah, weird.
That you actually, the police could have got a lot of people just 100%. From just going on that, to be honest with you.
100%, yeah.
But no, it was chat rooms before, like webcam and all that was just a thing. You just go in and type text. And I then always grew up thinking like chat rooms are like really dangerous, scary place, which they probably are.
Probably.
But that was always what was banned, and that stuck to me throughout as I grew up. But yeah, I don't know where I sit on it in the whole thing nowadays.
It's hard, isn't it? I think children for early years as well, like the internet is...
Oh, there's preschoolers who are so adept at using technology and tablets.
God, yeah.
It's scary.
You see children holding their parents' phones, watching something, a notification comes down, and they swipe it away.
Yeah.
But you see kids do that.
Well, it's even like...
crazy.
It's even like if I said to you, hand signal on a phone, this is awful for a podcast. Exactly. But it's not anymore, is it?
I'm holding a thumb and my little finger.
Is that?
Or it's like take a picture. What would you do?
The sign would be that,
whereas they'd go like this.
Yeah. So it's
take
just
a selfie.
It's even those little things they're ingrained, but that's just showing how we're old, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess if you ask my dad that how to show a phone, he'd probably like write a message.
Or like ring dial it.
No, wouldn't it be a message and then you'd have to get the pigeon and pop it in this little thing and send the pigeon up.
Go, be free.
But all jokes aside, it's not that old. So yeah, and then you have also the other element of technology. Where am I going with this?
I'm not sure. What element of technology would you like to talk about next?
It was I had it in my head, and it was along the themes of the internet and stranger danger. Socialization, tablets. That's where we're going down.
Oh, okay.
You often see 3-4-year-olds put in front of tablets and screen time, and
it's really hard, isn't it? Because you're going to grow up in a world where you have to know what technology is. So when do you start that? When do you have to introduce so children know what their friends are talking about and things like that? But then also finding that balance that your child learns through play, not through a screen.
Do you know what I always find? And actually, carrying on that train of thought, we've seen through research studies, regardless if you're a child or an adult, learning through a screen is so less effective than in real life, person to person learning from, especially when we're talking about the basics of early children and that connection they get with human beings. As you get older into an adult, you become a bit better at being able to concentrate and just mitigate against the negative aspect of it. I can't speak nor hold my train of thought today. It's not a good day for me to do a podcast.
Sorry, everybody.
Screen time. I often see screen time in my head as similar to the idea of dummies in babies.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone sort of poo-poos it. Or
everyone does it.
Bloody dummy. Or look at that child screen time all the time. They're at the dinner table on holiday and look.
But you don't know.
But at the same time, mum and dad on holiday might have been with that child all day, interacting, playing, like the best time in the world. They just want to go for dinner with a bit of peace and quiet and have a bit of them time.
Yeah.
So they're going to stick him in front of the tablet for 2 hours, and because he's happy as Larry, and mum and dad can actually connect
and have a conversation.
But everybody else in the restaurant's going, shit parents.
Yeah, well, in front of that.
Yeah. And that's the difficulty of it. And dummies are the same. You put the dummy in a child's mouth, stop and screaming. Oh, that child's always got a blooming dummy in his mouth. or vice versa. Actually, the child's never had a dummy in its mouth, but in certain moments in the day, either mum just wants a break, or like same with the screen.
Child needs some
just
comfort.
pop it in. It's like a silencer.
Yeah.
Oh yes, the child needs that comfort element to it. So I often see them.
Both sides. Yeah.
But then also there is the flip side to it, and some children are put in front of tablets and watch TV all day, every day.
Yeah.
And it is really detrimental.
Yeah.
Like really detrimental. Like you don't have access to all those social skills, social opportunities, and we run down an avenue where a large part of our society could become really just unsociable.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Because being pushed out your comfort zone to engage with people, to be able to hold conversation, if you're not exposed to that early on, those skills, it's hard to mitigate for that loss.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Yeah.
I'm glad that makes sense.
I'm glad it makes sense too. I want to know what other people think on this. Internet and social media. No, I think in terms of like, if you're a parent,
Yeah.
if you're a parent, where do you sit on screen time and the internet with your children?
Yeah, what are your... pop that as a question later on.
Yeah.
Maybe even on Friday, could do like a Q&A and we'll preface it with some of these clips and we can just talk it through.
What is your yes or no's for social media with children and yourself?
I think in general, I'm just going over my notes in terms of headings I've put. So impact on family dynamics. We've sort of just talked about that. Screen time, control challenges, safety and privacy concern, data security, online dangers. Do you know what, it's funny the amount of times I get messages like on the iPhone now where it says your password has been exposed. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
So your password's been exposed and you haven't used it on these 100 websites. It's always scary to think, fucking hell.
Why's my password exposed?
But it's like when you get phone calls, like cold calls.
Cold
Cool goals?
Cool goals?
From like India and stuff. That is...
Someone's found your data.
But that's your number has ended up on a list more than probably. And they pass these lists around from different call centres in India. They highlight some people as like vulnerable or like go after them and things like that.
It's scary, isn't it?
It is. Economic impact, new career paths, digital literacy. Yeah,
Yeah,
we talked about influencers and YouTubers, but even just getting jobs now, like everybody we employ across all of our settings is online. It all comes from Indeed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nearly 90-odd%.
Or email.
Yeah. Very rare is it nowadays of
in the newspaper or
back in the day, Yellow Pages.
Yeah. With influencers, I think everyone, not jealous, I don't think is the right word, but I hate seeing influencers who have no interest in things get invited to things.
Yeah, the NFL, we're back on this, aren't we?
No, this was actually Taylor Swift. So Taylor Swift store tickets, I didn't even try and get them, but were, I can imagine, really difficult to get hold of, and they were really expensive.
Strangely.
And in her London shows, there were groups of influencers being invited to go with a brand because they'll promote the brand, etc., who had no interest in Taylor Swift whatsoever, but were going because they'd been invited. And there's fans who would have paid the money if they had the opportunity to and couldn't go. And I just think, like, I go and see McFly, as you're listening to this, tomorrow. And if I had not been able to get tickets to go to McFly's 21st birthday party and some influencer was invited along, I would have been so cross, because I have been a McFly fan for literally as long as I remember.
But in the words of Conor McGregor, you would have done nothing.
I would have done nothing, because there would have been nothing I could do. But it makes me cross. And it does make me cross about the NFL. But
it's the same with the NFL, though. It is like the game in Tottenham we can go to.
Because we tried to get tickets for that.
And then you watch like online and you see all the photographs coming through of people. There's just the amount of social media nobodies who got tickets.
Some people who were on social media are genuinely NFL fans. I can see that. But some of them aren't. And I just think that you call me a fake NFL fan, but I'm not. I'm a Niners fan. I don't know about any of the other teams, but I do know about our team, and I do know the rules, and I can watch the games.
Name me 10 players.
From the Niners? Yeah. I don't think anyone else wants to hear that.
Do it.
Okay, George Kittle, Nick Bosa, Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Jake Moody.
Oh, niche.
Oh, very niche. Yeah, he's gone off injured now and he's broken his foot.
I know, high ankle sprain.
Oh, it's a high ankle sprain, it's everyone. Hafunga, I can't remember his name. First name.
Funga.
Deebo Samuel.
Yep.
Fred Warner.
Mm-hmm.
Trent Williams. Christian McCaffrey.
No, you've had that.
Oh, did it?
You have. I will VAR it, but you have had it. I'll prove it later. You definitely said Christian McCaffrey.
I don't think I did.
In the first 5, you said
I
Christian
don't think
McCaffrey.
I did say Christian McCaffrey.
Everybody listening to this will know that you said Christian McCaffrey.
Okay. Oh, he doesn't play for us anymore, but can I pick an
it doesn't
NFL
count.
player?
No.
Yeah, I can pick an NFL player.
So you failed.
Oh, no, I haven't. There's one.
Wow.
I didn't say Christian McCaffrey.
You did.
Carl Juszczyk.
There you go. Eventually got there.
There's
was-
50 people.
I was
on
going to say
the
that-
roster, and I can barely know.
It is a
10.
52-man roster, and we just got to 10. Hence why sometimes I call Emily a fake NFL fan.
No, but
Even with the power of the internet, at your disposal, you still haven't learned more than probably like 12 players.
one of my favourites.
It's because whenever we watch it on TV, you're on the internet.
Oh, but I think if so, like I just think like if I could have given you and my dad tickets to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium game on Saturday, you'd have been
Sunday.
or whatever day it was, Sunday. You both would have had the best time because you both understand the game and you love it. I'm really staying up to watch the Super Bowl this year. I'm so tired.
The power of the internet, we were able to watch that 20 years ago. I should probably would have been on TV.
I've lost what we were talking
The other
about.
aspect actually we haven't talked about, which one of our friends who has young boys always talks about, and that's gaming and how it brings actually her children where they can't play out necessarily. They all jump online with their headsets with
play
each other and play. And it is
Community
it's a
way.
weird thing.
Yeah.
And for us who aren't maybe of that age or do that type of thing, you're looking and go poo-poo it. It's like weird. But it is people spending time together in a slightly different way.
The wedding we went to, you were best man. We were groomsmen.
Yeah, it's one of their things.
One of their things is to play on PlayStation together.
Actually, no, but they're massive losers because they don't actually play online. They
No.
do like some other thing and they ring each other.
Yes.
So like they're
Like,
just
are you ready? Yeah, me too.
they're just
Don't.
they're just a sad version of it. Well, now
connection?
Well, now she's been doing that nowadays. Now he's just had
got a baby.
a baba. And yes, and some of the ideas I put down for like discussion: future internet regulation. Thoughts, ideas?
Future internet regulation.
Like, for,
Consequences to things.
no, maybe, but for me, I always think social media should have a passport. I think you should have some sort of online ID that when you sign up to Twitter or Instagram, you have something. So that you're not.
Okay.
So I can't go on to some celebrity's thing and say some horrific racist stuff, or I can't. And there's not a consequence. If the police then needed to find out,
They
would track it, get my ID. And yes, there are ways around, I'm sure, and there'd be holes to that idea, and
Create
it wouldn't necessarily
loads of new
people could
emails.
create. Well, no, because it wouldn't be attached to your email. Then it'd be attached to your social or your internet ID, if you like.
Right, okay, yeah,
But
yeah.
people could make fake IDs, I'm sure, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But that would stop the average Joe being able to do it without a consequence.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to go on, like, do you remember the Euros when we lost to Italy in the in the
my
penalties
God, all
years
the
years
stuff
ago?
that was said about
And
Saka.
Saka, the amount of racist abuse he got, all of those individuals should have.
Been banned from the internet.
Yeah, like I'm not being funny, but fuck off. Like, get off the internet. You don't deserve to use it.
Yeah.
And I'm not stopping people that are having political views, or I'm not trying to censor people, but just straight up horrific abuse shouldn't be tolerated.
No, that's
So that's always been my idea, that you should be forced to have some sort of ID
Yeah, and if you've
there.
got nothing to hide.
Because I get it if you
then
don't,
no problem.
you might not want to put your face out there and name out there necessarily because of your job, or like there's mitigating reasons, but there should be some tag of some sort.
Yeah, no, I agree. That would make sense.
The other bit then on this, well, did you have any ideas?
No, I hadn't thought about that.
Oh,
I like your idea though.
okay. So you're just tagging along.
Yeah,
Okay. I'll allow you to join my bus.
your team.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The role of schools in internet education then. What role does education have in educating children about?
I think it's about keeping safe on the internet, and I think that's a big thing. And it's even coming into early years
currently. Which is it part of?
curriculum. Yeah, Ofsted look for it. Ofsted look for online safety, even in nurseries.
Oh, really?
How we're talking to children and how we share that information with parents. Yeah, wasn't that long ago we shared a video with parents about online safety.
No, I know, but is that not a bit too soon?
Possibly not, because I don't know, but they're asking about how children know to be online safe. But I think schools have a role to play in terms of education educating children, to know that the internet is fabulous. You can find all this amazing stuff, but there are boundaries that have to be in place on it, and understand. Not to the point, like we said before, about scaring children, but just understanding it.
It's like that in everything in life, though, isn't it? Internet does just fall into that bracket of like,
used properly, it's great. In the wrong hands, it's not great.
It can be really dangerous. Yeah. But alcohol, same story.
Yeah. Drugs.
Food. Something as simple as food. Used well, brilliant food. You can enjoy food, brilliant fuel for the body. You need it from a micronutrient, protein.
Yeah.
But also don't abuse it, because you can go too much one way and it becomes a major problem. And also another way, through not eating enough, blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of, everything in life has its vices as much as its positives, doesn't it? And the internet fits into that gap.
Yeah, it does.
And I think in the world of early years, it is it's an incredible tool for practitioners. It's something that children have to learn, because they are going to be in an ever advancing technological world.
It's like children now will ask the Alexas for different songs. It's a form of technology.
Yeah.
Alexa, play Baby Shark. Yeah. No, Alexa, don't.
And from a young age, they're able to manipulate.
Make choices and talk to technology and get something from it.
I bet a lot of 9-year-olds and under can access and manipulate technology better than their grandparents.
Yeah.
Probably not their parents, but their grandparents in ways. And that is quite incredible. There's almost a skill. There's almost like an age gap where if you grew up with technology, even a new technology comes out now, we have the ability to manipulate it because we understand it.
Yeah.
Whereas then there's an age group above us, probably like our parents plus age, who struggle with it, and even as it comes out, can't catch up.
Yeah.
And I think that has to
My granddad was blown away by online food delivery.
Yeah. And I think that has something to do with learning the language of it from a really young age. And even now, like you talked about editing earlier, there's things I can just go into, and if I've never seen the software before, I can learn it. Mm-hmm. Not in any advanced level where the coding of that. I'm not talking about that. I don't have that skill. But do you know what I mean? There's a language to technology that you sort of pick up and learn.
Yeah.
And children are definitely learning that earlier.
A lot earlier, yeah.
And it's up to us then to make sure we're protecting them.
Yeah,
so it
exactly.
falls into safeguarding, I suppose.
100%. Yeah, it's everyone's problem to safeguard children.
Responsibility.
I don't know.
I know what you meant. It's been a long day.
It has been.
I think on that note,
we are going to wrap up, and I'm going to go home and cuddle my dogs.
I'm going to go for a run in the rain. Oh, and it's dark. What an awful moment I just had.
Tomorrow.
No, I'm going to go. I'm going to get my little flashlight out. Hopefully it lasts longer than 5 minutes.
Get food out of the freezer?
Nope.
All right, we better run to a shop.
Yep. All right then, guys.
Enjoy the rest of your day. There'll be another episode of Diary of an Early Years Educator.
We talk about this
Friday. I don't know yet. I like to talk about things that are happening real in the moment. So,
oh God, it could be
an interesting episode this week.
Or maybe it'll be about Big Brother, because Big Brother is back. Back.
Maybe you can come and do a cameo on the Diary of an Early Years.
Let's talk about Big Brother. Oh my God, maybe I still have time to set my own Big Brother podcast.
We've not got the time in the week to form 4 podcasts.
I could do it.
I'm vetoing it. It is now nearly 7 p.m.
I could do it every night at 10 o'clock.
Goodbye, everybody.
Apologies for this podcast being a bit late as well, because this probably won't come out till about 9, 10 o'clock on Wednesday.
It's going to be later than that.
It won't.
Are you getting to the office early tomorrow?
Yes, super early, and I'm going to edit the live hour of it.
Okay. Have a lovely rest of your day, everybody, and I will see you again on Friday, and we and Ben will see you maybe next week, maybe not.
Depends.
Depends.
Ciao, amigos.
Bye.